Today, we will be talking to you about Godwin's Law, presented by our group Supra Smash Bros. Estuardo Bustamante, Alexander Chen, and Anil Sohani. To briefly go over today's topic, we would discuss what is Godwin's Law, what are the effects of the law, the history of how Godwin's Law started, the purpose of the law, and we will provide an example to help you better understand of how the law actually works. We will also be giving examples where Godwin's Law does not apply. So what is Godwin's Law? In this age of time, there are many laws that have been created throughout the years. There are many laws and even laws that exist in the internet. An example would be Godwin's Law. Does anyone know what is Godwin's Law?
No.
No, what's that? What is that?
Okay, well, Godwin's Law states that once a political debate or a discussion reaches a comparison to Nazis or Hitler's, its usefulness is over. It has become widely used as a rule of thumb in any content in which political debates is taking place. As you can see in the graph, when the discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involves Nazis or Hitler increases. There is a tradition in many groups that once this occurs, the thread is over. And whoever mentions the Nazis has automatically lost whatever argument was in progress. Godwin's Law will then guarantee the existence of an upper bound of thread linked to those groups. So basically, during an online debate, eventually someone will reference Nazi or Hitler inappropriately. So what are the effects of the law? There are three possible effects of Godwin's Law in a debate. First, the thread can be ended by a moderator. It could be ended if someone brings up Nazis in a general conversation when it wasn't necessary or germane. Second, the user can be considered to be flaming rather than debating. This effect can also be accompanied by the thread being ended as well. Lastly, a user can possibly be banned from the forum if the amount of flaming is excessive.
Let's talk about the history of how the Godwin Law started. This term was coined by Mr. Mike Wayne Godwin. He is in the University of Texas graduate and attorney at law. Godwin's Law began as a term of art in the Usenet reader groups and BBS discussion groups of the early 1990s. Usenet resembles a bulletin board system or a BBS and is a precursor to the various internet forums that are widely used today. It can be applied to any threaded online discussion. These include blogs, email clients, chat rooms, and internet forums. Godwin stated that he introduced his law as an experiment in memetics. A meme is known as an information pattern held in a person's memory, which is capable of being copied to another person's memory. Memetics is the theoretical science that studies the replication, spread, and evolution of memes. They threw the comparisons of the Nazis and Hitler so much that Godwin was afraid people were starting to misunderstand the glorific events of the Holocaust. Purpose for Godwin's Law. Godwin states, "I want folks who glibly compared someone else to Hitler or to Nazis to think a bit harder about the Holocaust." Godwin's Law involves the assumption that Nazis and Hitler are offensive, so emotionally charged that any comparison is simply too inflammatory to be of service to rational discourse. It also degrades the topic of the conversation and come off as immature.
Many examples of Godwin's law can fall under the category of reductio ad Hitlerum. Reductio ad Hitlerum is related to a relatively recent debating technique identified by political scientist Leo Strauss. Reductio ad Hitlerum is the idea that a view is refuted by the fact that it happens to have been shared by Hitler. Strauss points out that this is a fallacy. In other words, a view is not refuted simply because Hitler held to it. Nevertheless, in many people's minds, anything that can be identified with Hitler is discredited. An example can be found in a government forum about Obama's healthcare plan.
I agree with President Obama on his view on healthcare. The reason is because everyone should be insured.
I disagree. Everyone should have the right to decide on whether or not they want health care.
No, I believe President Obama's view on healthcare is the right thing to do.
That's not right. Obama is just like Hitler trying to control everything.
I'm the moderator of this forum, and this thread is closed. That was just a prime case of Godwin's law in full effect. Other examples are: Hitler was a vegetarian, therefore, vegetarianism is wrong. Or, Adolf Hitler liked the Volkswagen car company, therefore someone who likes Volkswagen is a Nazi. Or, Hitler was born on 420, so someone who was born on 420 will be evil just like Hitler. So, where does Godwin's law not work? Godwin's law does not work if a user intentionally says Hitler or Nazi just to close a thread or end the conversation in a debate. This exception was made by Taki Quirk Kogama. It also does not work when the topic of discussion includes genocide, eugenics, racial superiority, and totalitarian regimes or ideologies. In conclusion, Mike Godwin introduced the Godwin's Law, which states that when a discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazis or Hitler increases. Once this occurs, the thread is closed, and whoever mentioned the Nazis loses the argument in progress. The reason why he did this was because he did not want people to misunderstand Hitler and the Nazi regime. On behalf of the Supra Smash Brothers, we would like to thank you for watching our presentation. The following page lists all of our citations.